Hey, are you a web designer looking for some fresh inspiration for your next design project? Well, I've got 7 of the world's most triggering trends that you need to know about. Well, friends, it's a new year, a new me, and a fresh batch of young web designers have got their grubby little paws on our web design tools, and they're making some pretty interesting things. Now, some of it's not for me, I'll admit, and I'll probably be like that old man yelling at the clouds, and I promise I won't hold back. But hey, some of it's probably pretty dope or neat, rad, whatever the kids are saying these days. The first trend is nature distilled. What does that mean? Well, designers are getting tired of screens and pixels blasting in their faces. Remember that weird neon pink trend from 2024? Yeah, well, that fad burned out faster than it burned our retinas. Now designers are touching grass. They're switching it up and heading into the woods, at least for their color and texture inspiration. Let's be real though, most of us are too comfortable in our digital matrix to touch actual dirt. So we'll settle for the digital version of nature. We're seeing more warm and cozy color palettes that give us those earthy brown vibes without having to leave our screens. Look, if you want to try this style out, then play with some brown tones, some bourbon colors, and those fancy crimson reds. Just think of wood things, skin colors of all the types, and that fancy clay stuff. Experiment with paper, stone, or grainy textures. Textures. Paper, stone, and grainy textures. The whole point here is to be like soothing our poor screen-fried nerves and bring us back down to earth with this totally authentic, definitely not digital vibe. Look, I actually don't hate this trend. I'm gonna give it 2 cedar trees out of 4 bushels of wheat. That's a good score, in case you're wondering. Next up, we've got gamification, because regular websites are too simple, I guess. Now we need to turn every web page into a new level in a video game. That's cool, I get it though. Everybody's attention spans are fried on 25-second TikToks and whatever. So we web designers have to add progress bars, whatever, sound design, and animated 3D buttons to keep people clicking around on our websites like it's a video game. And wow, are designers ever going wild with this one? We've got websites that are basically video games now, like this gorgeous piece by Koren Matavosian. I don't know if I got that right, probably didn't, but check this browser-based game, bird1000.com. It's about Armenian folklore. I mean, that's pretty cool. I gotta give you that. But then you got a bunch of other examples here like Blend Mode and Wild Memory and Alec Tier, who apparently decided that scrolling normally is for simpletons like me. And we gotta solve puzzles just to read the About page. Soon, you'll need to defeat the main boss just to add something to your shopping cart. If you want to add a little gamification vibe to your sites, encourage curiosity. Incorporate interactions and mouse effects. Make your site experience feel immersive. Add sounds to your buttons if you want. Bonus points if it makes a boop the like button sound. Add some visual storytelling, some scrolling effects, animated illustrations. Gently guide that user through some gamified features. Make it feel fun while not getting too much in the way of the user's end goal. I know I said, we're probably gonna need to defeat the end boss to add to shopping cart, but don't do that. And hey, pro tip, if you use Wix Studio, that's the advanced web platform for agencies and freelancers, you can easily add everything that I just said from mouse effects, scrollytelling, animated illustrations to your sites with ease. In fact, there's a direct integration with Lottie files for simple animations, but there's also a brand new seamless Rive integration. And these are tools that let you enhance your client sites with pre-designed 3D elements from the Rive community or your own 3D creations. It's pretty neat. Look, I like to dabble in the occasional video game. I can Nintendo Switch 2 em up like the best of the boys. And RDR2 is the best video game of all time. Fight me. So I think building browser-based games is cool, but I don't know if I see myself building a video game for my next client who needs a barbershop website. But there may be some client projects that require a little fun and play. I give this 2 spinny loading icons out of 5 Xboxes on this trend. The next trend is called Tactile Maximalism, but I like to call it my junk drawer threw up on the internet. Apparently, designers are getting tired of that whole digital vibe and want websites to feel more real, like physically real, because that makes total sense for a screen-based medium. Picture this. Your screen becomes a dumping ground for every 3D element imaginable. We're talking carabiners, keys, sticky notes, and that swag bag from the design conference you attended. You know, the one collecting dust in your closet. You can't quite seem to throw it in the trash bin. Yeah, those stickers, carabiners, cheap notepads, and aluminum water bottle things are now design inspiration. But hey, I kind of get it. In our digital AI overtaken world, maybe we're just all craving something that feels a little bit more human. If you want to hop on this bandwagon, here's what you got to do. Carabiners. Add those fancy transparent 3D videos. Throw in some inflatable balloon style text and balance it all with a clean layout. At least someone's thinking straight here. You know what? I actually don't hate this one if it's done right. Maybe it's the helium talking, but I'm giving it 4 out of 5 helium balloon puffs. Just don't come crying to me when this time next year you have to redesign your portfolio again. And I say, told you so. Exaggerated hierarchy is our next trend, and honestly, it's my favorite. I think it's both practical and attractive, striking that perfect balance between user experience and artistic freedom. We're talking oversized headings juxtaposed with delicate paragraph text for breathtaking contrast. It's like a dance on the screen, a zig and a zag. It's confident. The designer gets to wow the user with a big, bold, large, like 168 pixels large heading, and then draw them in close, like pinch and zoom close to engage with the next line. Just like the giant footer trend from 2024, this is a conscious and extreme visual design choice. It's bold with purpose. If there's one trend that can make you the web design hero of 2025 and create striking, memorable experiences, this is it. To incorporate this, all you have to do is embrace dramatic contrast. Use oversized headings to anchor that attention and balanced with elegant, smaller text that draws you in closer, creating an intimate and engaging web experience. Play with bold and dominant visuals against a delicate backdrop. Aim to create impact and rhythm in your layouts. And remember, this one is a dance between the beauty and the beast. This one gets a rating of 100 pixels in font size. Next trend is museums, or Museumcore. That's at least what Gen Z designers are calling it. Why? Because none of them have actually experienced the 1900s. And apparently anything with taste, elegance, and a marble statue, hand-carved ornamentation, or a rich history is a museum. Dusty, ancient. They're calling serif typefaces old style and a hand-carved statue a relic. I mean, how disrespectful. Just because I have a memory of a time without personal screens and social media doesn't mean my birth millennium is old, okay? All right, I'm being a little dramatic here because this trend is actually borrowing from the rich artistic history of the 16th and 17th centuries, and I wasn't there. So yeah, it's old, and frankly, cooler than a cucumber. Modern displays can finally do justice to all those fancy details. It's like asking, what if the old masters had websites? So, how do we achieve this classic look? Well, go for Garamond or Caslon, that classic font style, or try a decorative font pack, some sort of old type foundry for that extra historical flair. Aim for rich colors. Mix burgundy, navy, and emerald with the neutral cream and taupe backgrounds. Make sure to include some elegant details for that vintage classic touch. I give this one 5 Gregorian chants out of 7. Slightly out of tune, but still heavenly. All right, 2025 is telling us to take a chill pill, bro. Slow design is the new vibe. And this trend is basically saying, hey, maybe stop rushing for 5 minutes and actually care about your work. Wild idea, right? It's simple. Listen to your clients. Like, actually listen to your clients. Focus on timeless design and sweat the small stuff. Spend a little time on typography, intentional layout choices, animations, and hover effects. Websites that feel thoughtful and human, that's the goal here. So how do you pull this off without missing every deadline? Well, talk to your clients. Yeah, like have an actual conversation. Get their vibe. Stick with the classics. Garamond, Swiss grids, timeless stuff. Perfect the details. Smooth out that button hover. Make your transitions sing. And look, if you're thinking, sounds nice, Brad, but I've got deadlines and I can't just be spending time pushing little pixels around and fine-tuning my rounded corners. Well, guess what? Tools like Wix Studio can help with the boring bits. All the little fine-tuned details, it's actually really easy to take care of quickly and in less time. So you got more time to nail the fun stuff like animations. I give this one 4 tortoises out of 5 because slow and steady isn't sexy, but it wins the race. Now this next one is another favorite trend of mine, not just because it's visually appealing, but because it's practical and timeless. It's called elevated brutalism. Brutalism has been around forever. In web design, it's that style that's, well, brutal, abrasive, harsh, rigid layouts, bold lines, and not a shred of elegance. It's the design equivalent of a slap in the face, but somehow it's stuck around. Maybe because it's simple, maybe because it doesn't care what you think. This year though, brutalism's getting a glow up, as the kiddies say. Elevated brutalism adds refined aesthetics like high-end photography, thoughtful typography, and smooth scroll effects. It's got that sharp edge, visible grid line vibe that we know and love, or tolerate, but now there's a touch of sophistication. And yeah, we're calling it elevated brutalism, probably because ChatGPT spit the word elevate out and we didn't bother changing it. But hey, it fits. It's brutalism, but with a little charm, a little polish. It's like brutalism went to art school. I'd give this a 5 pixel thick grid line out of 5. It's brutal, but bougie. Exploring trends is cool and all, but at the end of the day, the best designs are the ones that actually work for your clients. So if you want to know how to build websites that actually work for your clients, here's what you got to do.